Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Mythical. If you're new to Mythical, I talk about fantasy and sci-fi cartoons. If that sounds interesting, then consider subscribing. Anyway, Hilda Season 2 came out 2 weeks ago, and I'm sorry I didn't post this video earlier, but thank you Denai for telling me that I should do it, or else I probably wouldn't have. Anyway, Hilda Season 2 overall was awesome. It was way better than the last season, and, well, let's get into why. Alright, let's start off with some episodes that I liked and kind of dislike. So, let's start off with the Deer Fox episode. You know, the episode about Twig. I liked it, but it was over half an hour, and I thought that was just a little too long, although it was kind of interesting to see past Hilda and past Twig. And, of course, to reaffirm sort of Hilda and Twig's relationship and, stuff like that. So, that was alright. And, of course, my favorite episode overall was the Eternal Warriors. It was sort of absurd, but just completely awesome. So, in case you kind of forget what that was about, there were two sort of different clans of warriors that kept fighting each other, and then one side would win, and then the other side would resurrect, and they'd forget the past happened, and it's just been going on for 1,000 years. It was completely awesome. All the jokes in that episode were really great, and of course, we got a little bit of character development for David. And some episodes I really didn't like. I didn't like the Time War episode. I just didn't like I'm saying like a lot. I didn't like the Time Word episode because of its old-timey feel. You know, like, they had, like, jazz clubs and, well, not jazz, but, clubs with the jazz music and, I don't know, square dancing or whatnot. But it just felt a little old to me, and I didn't really like that feel. But it was still alright. And the Yuletide episode, it was alright because of this one clip.
Eric, you've been a good boy this year.
Yeah, I really like that clip. Eric Albert's just a great villain. And of course, the Bells of Trollberg was also really great because we got to see Hilda and Eric Alberg sort of clash together, and that was their first real, I don't know, confrontation. We got to see Hilda kind of go against the city this time, which, I don't know, it felt kind of weird to see Hilda kind of breaking the law, if you know what I mean. Well, that's enough about episodes. They were all pretty great. Well, let's get on to character development. Hilda and her mom, of course, as we kind of see, grew kind of separate. But in the last episode, we got to see them come together, which I really, really loved. I want them to be just completely alright with each other. And so it was nice to see that. And of course, we got to see Kaiser, I think that was her name. I can't completely remember. That one witch in the tower who got 5 minutes or less of screen time in the first season, but this time had more than she was in more than not 5 episodes, that's an exaggeration, but around 3 episodes, which was really nice. And she has a really funny personality. She kind of acts quiet and all that, but she's really fun. And in that one North episode, it was really fun to see her sort of fly around on the vacuum and all that, so yeah, that was nice. And of course, we got to see Alford a whole lot more this season. Well, probably the same amount last season, but he was just as fun as always. And of course, Frida became a witch, which I thought was a really nice thing. It kind of made Frida more different than the rest of the others, and it's nice to see everyone have their own thing. She used to just be the smart studious one, but now she's the smart studious witch, which I thought was really awesome. Well, let's get on to new characters. Of course, we have the Bellkeeper, who I really liked, and a lot of people in the comments are saying that he could be Hilda's dad, and it's completely possible. Of course, we'll never know unless the creators decide to let us know. And of course, it was nice to see the Bellkeeper team up with Hilda, especially in the Bells of Trollberg episode, to stop the mechanical bells from not only disrupting the cities, but sort of disrupting trolls and wildlife activity. And of course, my favorite new character, of course, Eric Alberg, one of the greatest villains in my opinion. Not because he's a villain, but because he's really funny. And of course, Eric's assistant was also pretty nice. Seeing she had a lot of common with Alfred. They both like paperwork and organization and all that, so that was nice. And of course, we got to see the witches, which were kind of picky. And I can't remember Kaiser's grandmother. I can't remember her name, but she was also pretty awesome. Well, of course, the plot. I liked how this season they moved the plot along more. Like they have Eric Alberg and the Bells and all his tricks to try to get fame and glory. Then they have, of course, the trolls who are all coming together and the Troll Mountain and stuff like that. So that moved the plot along pretty well, which I was very glad about. Because the first season was nice, but it felt like most of the episodes were filler. Which is usually alright for me, but it's nice to see some plot now and then. And overall, I thought it was really good. Maybe not twice as good as the first season, but it definitely improved. And if it keeps improving, I guess it'll get better. Well, I hope they renew for a 3rd season soon enough, and maybe continue even on after that. Well, anyway, not really a short episode, but if you like this kind of stuff, then consider subscribing if you're not already. And have an absolutely exceptional day, everyone, and goodbye.